Climate change has been the biggest threat and the most fundamental problem of the world. And the year 2020 has become the year where European banking authorities set their focus on climate and environmental risks. Now, banks must make environmental, social and governance risk factors, we call it ESG, a part of their regulatory and supervisory processes. They should consider ESG score in their credit decisions, implement it in their risk appetite to finally target more responsible borrowers. All this requires diverse types of data. Hello everyone, my name is Buse and I work in the analytics department in Experian, and one of my main responsibilities is to help our clients stay compliant with the dynamic European and local risk regulations and developing regulatory risk parameters such as IRB, IFRS 9 and ESG. According to the recent ESG framework, banks must identify different environmental, social and governance risk factors and evaluate and estimate the ESG risk. Furthermore, they must find a way to incorporate the ESG risk into their risk appetite, credit processes and financial risk measurements. For example, environmental risk factors can be carbon dioxide emissions and energy efficiency. The indicators for these specific risk factors can be carbon emissions, lack of reduction initiatives in the use and production of fossil fuels, or energy consumption intensity. Or when it comes to social risk factors, employee relationships and labor standards are the focus. Employee turnover rates, salary levels, gender distribution in the management roles, injury rates in the workplace can be used to measure social risks. As the third pillar of ESG framework, governance risk factors include more values and ethics, internal controls and risk management processes, board of directors composition and audit results. Overall, considering the first disclosure requirements arriving in 2022 and the final deadline being 2024, it is particularly important to have an ESG implementation strategy in place and start to collect data elements that are crucial for identifying the factors and measuring the risks. As Experian, we are an ideal partner to work together with for the ESG framework design and implementations. Because in Experian we have data, not all the extensive list for sure, but we have a list of different company data in our bureaus indicating environmental, social and governance risks of businesses. They may vary market to market, and if I should give some examples, they can be employee structure, compensations, audit findings on companies, property and car information, energy levels of the properties, etc. We are also getting prepared to capture to be published ESG data in the annual statements of the companies by our bureau. From 2023 on, we will be able to use this data for ESG analytics purposes. And because we are a company with strong analytical capabilities that has a developed ESG framework containing ESG risk indicator and metrics lists, business self-assessment questionnaires, and transactional data interpretation tools. In the previous years, we have been working hard and getting prepared for ESG regulation to enlarge the data and tools that will contribute to the bank's regulatory compliance. And now, we are discussing in detail with our stakeholders what kind of roadmap to be followed to get ready within the deadlines. We have in-house developed self-assessment questionnaires, various data to derive ESG risk factors, and in-depth transactional data knowledge and experience to support organizations in that journey. If your organization needs consultancy on how to get started with ESG or needs some alternative data or tools, please reach out to us and let's start to discuss how we can help you to have a robust ESG framework in place. Thank you for listening to Experian Analytics Academy, Insights that Impact. Please make sure to watch the other topics in our academy and subscribe to our Analytics Academy newsletter.